What's going on, everybody? JHow here, and patch 2.2.0 is now available on the PTR. And it's such a big patch in terms of the class-specific gear that I'm doing a video for each different class. So you're welcome to check out each of those, and I'll leave links to those in the description below. And in this one, we're going to cover the Crusader. Now, the Crusader doesn't have a ton of changes, particularly to skills. They said they weren't going to change a lot of skills for most of the classes, and they're staying true to their word. Crusader, not much different. One skill has different changes. And it's all just proc coefficients. On Punish, proc coefficient has been increased for all of those. That's enough said about that for Punish. You can check that out. I'm going to go ahead and skip over to the gear because you're going to see some pretty interesting changes in terms of the set bonuses and some different gear that's really going to help you change your play style and be able to change up the Crusader just a little bit. So we will get into that right now. Alright, so for the Crusader changes, there's a new legendary belt. It doesn't have a name yet. It just says it's a hammer belt, and we're going to wait for that name. Justice spawns a blessed hammer when it hits an enemy. Blessed Hammer's actually, is a good starter build, and it had been around. I mean, if you play Diablo 2, Blessed Hammer was the way to go. It's kind of like a novelty item, but it's bringing in a little bit different tactic to be able to manipulate some of the existing skills or whatever you're trying to run, and it's going to do something different. That's just a neat belt to have because there's not a lot of belts in place, and that could easily be something that you run with. Roland set. Roland set was about as useless as a new set as you could possibly have found. Nobody used it, and if you did, you really had to convince yourself and others that it worked. It just didn't work. It wasn't that great. Nobody liked it. So now they're changing it. They're redesigning it. The 2-set bonus. Every use of shield bash and sweep attack reduces the cooldown of your laws and defensive skills by 1 second. Not a bad thing. 4-piece bonus. Damage bonus increased from 100 to 500%. That's a huge damage. Damage bonus is now multiplicative. Again, they're bumping this up so it actually is worthwhile to have, at least in a certain sense. I'm going to be testing this on the PTR, so you can be on the lookout for more videos in the future. So if you haven't subscribed already or looking for other class videos or more of this class, I'm going to be bringing as much as I possibly can to you. I'm also going to be live streaming a lot of Diablo 3 PTR action over on Twitch at twitch.tv/jhow4444. So be sure and check me out there as well if you like, and I'll go over pretty much all classes, and we'll take a look at everything. Another legendary item with no name. These are bracers, and they're called Shield Bash bracers for now. When your Shield Bash hits 3 or less enemies, its damage is increased by 300 to 400%, and 50% of the wrath cost is refunded. Single target damage. This is huge. It's not going to be overwhelming, but you're going to find that this is going to be very beneficial on stuff like Rift Guardians, stuff like that, or you fight like a big guy or you need to go off to the side, you can kind of go and do some damage there. That'll be up to you as far as how you handle that. Another belt, still no name, Omni Slash. Now slash in attacks in all directions. That's another cool one. There's not a lot of changes to the Crusader. This is probably one of the least changed classes, and rightfully so. They felt that they put a lot of effort into the Crusader last year for Reaper of Souls, and they've made some small changes along the way, new set pieces, new bonuses, stuff like that. And they feel pretty confident in how balanced the Crusader is. They put a lot of time into it, and it's still just, barely a year old, almost. And I think they're still pretty comfortable with the changes that they made. So there's not a lot of huge changes, but there's some interesting changes in the fact that there's going to be new legendary items to really play with and enjoy, especially for a lot of the Crusader players out there that just need something fresh to be able to mess with some different stuff. And Roland's, of course, getting a little bit of a bump there as well. Like I said, there's going to be other class videos out there, so if you haven't seen those yet or you're looking for those are in the description below, so feel free to check those out. Also going to be doing more videos for this, so be on the lookout and subscribe if you haven't already. There's going to be a lot more Diablo 3 content in the future as well, so be sure and check that out. As always, happy hunting. We'll see you next time.